weird to be on somebody else's podcast and not be asking all the questions?
Yeah, I normally just start asking the host questions because I'm very insecure about vulnerability. If it's not,
dude, one of the things I wanted to say to you is you're kind of like one of like the podfathers of like music shit, because I knew about the podcast before I knew about your music. Like I knew Andy Frasco in the UN, but like I've known about the World Saving Podcast for a while now. Like what was the onus behind like jumping into the podcast world? Did you just want to talk shit? Was that it?
no, I was like, I stopped doing coke and I had all this free time.
Okay.
I was like, well, I can't, I was like, if I was doing coke, I was, flirting with girls. So I didn't have, just me texting people all the time. And the coke, because of the cocaine, the cocaine is the devil when it comes to your penis or vagina. So I had like 3 or 4 hours extra of the day. So I started a podcast because I was like, kind of like, when you do something for so long, you forget who you were before like the drugs and the fucking alcohol and, the high stimulation. So I started talking to all my old musician friends who had addiction problems because I was kind of too cheap to go to therapy, and it kind of helped. But
there you go. So the podcast was therapy.
It was until like, you can't really ask an old cokehead, about your mother or whatever. So I had to get like
There's no Freud shit going on.
I was gonna say you can't go through Freudian complexes and like childhood trauma, and you're like, yeah. By the way, what was doing cocaine?
Yeah, it's like a 4 a.m. podcast, puffing six. So tell me about your mother, dude.
Oh my fucking god, dude!
So I did that, and then I just started, doing the podcast thing, but I was like in the beginning, I wasn't really listening to people. I was just trying to ask questions to fill time, and then. It took about 100 episodes for me to like actually, oh yeah, I'm doing this. I'm not doing this to be an entertainer. I'm doing this to get knowledge out of people. So I started listening, and then that helped me in life.
For me, like I said, like when I started doing the podcast, it was almost like a reactionary thing towards quarantine, I guess. I took it more seriously in that capacity. But like when I was looking at it, I was like, why are more musicians not doing this shit? Like, I feel like you have the perfect personality for it. I don't think a lot of musicians do. Like, have you done a lot of other musicians' podcasts?
I mean, yeah, like quarantine, it was the flood of musician podcasts. So it was like, now there's like 100 of them. So they don't really ask me on the show. I don't know if they're like intimidated or I just talk so much and I'm everywhere online that if I go on someone's podcast, no one's going to give a fuck.
I mean, like, I laugh because, like, I feel like a lot of musicians started a podcast and then it got like 5 episodes in and they were like, all right, I'm not doing this shit anymore. And then there's the people who stick with it. And honestly, like, you were the first person when Andy came on, or that when Kenny came on, I was like, we need Andy Frasco. Like, we need to make this shit happen. So I'm fucking very thankful you're here today, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing your time with me, man. I'm here. I'm open to talk about whatever you want me to talk about.